There are just over 170 hours left until the pre-election silence begins in Poland's presidential election. 1 week before the first round, a survey by international pollsters AtlasIntel has emerged. The results were surprising. The lead is Karol Nawrocki with 29.1% support. Behind him is Rafał Trzaskowski with 28.9%. The others are far behind. This contrasts with most Polish polls, which put Trzaskowski at around 30%, with Nawrocki trailing by 8 to 10 points. Sociologists take note of the number of people surveyed in this poll. Polish pollsters usually interview about 1,000 people. Here, that number exceeds 5,000. This reflects a certain state of balance between the two biggest competitors. We see a small advantage for Mr. Nawrocki. Many people suspected that was the case, but there was no evidence for it. Here, we now have clear proof that this is indeed a real possibility, supported by a very well-made survey. The polling company AtlasIntel had the most accurate prediction of the US presidential election. Their research also accurately predicted the results of elections in Mexico, Argentina, Chile, France, Romania, and Spain. This is a company with a great reputation. It obtained very accurate measurements when it came to presidential elections in the United States and Latin America. Therefore, one can be confident in this result. This poll also predicts a victory for Karol Nawrocki in the second round, securing him the presidency. The survey was conducted from May 5th to the 8th, that is, after Nawrocki's visit to the United States and meeting in the Oval Office with Donald Trump. This is the aftermath of a very successful campaign, especially during the presidential debates. In addition, I think the visit to the United States may have already been reflected in this poll. The Americans are keeping a close eye on what is happening with the elections in Poland. This can be evidenced by recent posts from the American embassy in Warsaw on X, formerly known as Twitter. Freedom of speech and democracy are values that have long united the United States with our European partners and allies. As Poles prepare to express their voice in the upcoming elections, these fundamental principles remain at the core of our shared commitment to free and fair electoral processes. Both in the United States and in Poland, citizens have the right to choose their leaders and shape the future through a democratic process. These rights are increasingly being violated in Poland thanks to Rafał Trzaskowski's party, the Civic Platform, which leads the current coalition government. They seem to fear impending electoral defeat. The government's polling has only been getting worse, which AtlasIntel seems to have picked up on. More than 55% of those surveyed disapprove of the actions of the government and Prime Minister Donald Tusk, and Trzaskowski, despite posing as an independent candidate, seems unable to shake off the association with his party. Hence, in the AtlasIntel survey, more respondents had a negative opinion of Rafał Trzaskowski than of Karol Nawrocki. Some sociologists suspect the upcoming elections will function as a kind of referendum on the current government.